Hello, my master plan fam. Well, if you have been waiting anxiously to see how I make use of the project planning section inside my Charmed Life Master Planner, stay tuned. This video is for you. Hello, my charmed ones, and welcome back to my channel for another video. And if this is your first time with me, I would like to say welcome. My name is Alexis, but I'm also known as MissTrenchcoat all across the internet. I'm an online entrepreneur who designs and sells productivity tools to help you work smarter, not harder. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'll leave some links down below in the description box where you can check out more of my work online, and feel free to download some of my latest free productivity tools over at thecharmedshop.com. Okay, so today I'm going to be showing you guys a peek inside my Charmed Life Master Planner, and we are going to be putting together a project plan together, and I'm going to show you how I use my project plans and that yearly project tracker within this planner. So if you're interested in purchasing this planner, or if you've already purchased it and needed some inspiration for how to use the project planning section, then this video is perfect for you. And also, if you're someone who has either my functional planning bundle or my project planning bundle from my shop in my digital inserts, this will also apply to you. So you don't have to necessarily be using this planner. I do have a couple of different products that this pertains to. So if you're interested in making a project plan with me, let's jump in. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into putting together a project plan inside the Charmed Life Master Planner. So one of the things that I think is so interesting and unique about this planner is the fact that so much of this book is dedicated to the topic of project planning, which I think is something that you just don't see in most planners. In fact, I really can't think of any except for some really stuffy business planners that you might be able to find at Staples. Like, I've never really seen any sort of project planning sections in the standard planners that are popular within our community. So it was so important for me to put together a project planning section, because for me, the point of planning is to actually have plans to map out. And for me, when it comes to the topic of project planning and what is a project, I consider basically everything a project if it takes more than like 2 or 3 tasks or steps to accomplish. So if it's something where you have a lot of tasks that you need to accomplish in order to reach a certain ends, right, like a certain objective, I consider that a project. Whether that's planning for a birthday party, putting things together so you can purchase a home, or actually executing on a business plan, which is what I often use these project planning sheets for. There are so many different ways that you can use project plans, or so many different types of things that I think apply to project plans. So make sure you're not just thinking about this in terms of having a business. If you're not someone who runs a business or doesn't work like a traditional job, you can still be using these project planning sheets to organize major tasks in your life, in your home, whatever is going on in your life that is like a multi-step objective. I definitely think it should be broken down into a project plan so you can manage those efficiently. So today I wanted to give you guys an example of a project plan by actually writing one out that I actually need to put together. So the project that I'm actually working on is I need to actually create a dedicated website for my productivity classes. So this is something that I've been putting off for a long time, and the time is now. I need to start putting this together. So I've basically scheduled for myself to put this together in this next month. So let's go ahead and title the project. I'm going to call it Dedicated Class Site. All right, so all of my productivity classes are going to be on their own like membership site to make it so much easier for people to access the information. That'll be so much easier for my customers. So I need a description for this now. I'll just say make membership website for productivity classes. And I'm going to be the one who's actually putting this together. I'm like going to be building the website myself. This isn't something where I'm, giving it to someone or hiring someone else to do it. And the due date for this is actually going to be 6/1/2018. Okay, so hopefully there will be a website built by 6/1/2018. Now let's think, okay, resources. Let me do those first. I know that I need to use wordpress.org for that. I know I'm going to be using a blue chic theme. And I'll be using Wishlist Member. That's a plugin. And if you guys aren't like really familiar with like sort of these terms I'm using for, building a website, ignore that. I don't want you to get distracted by the type of plan I'm putting together, but just kind of follow along with the sorts of things I'm thinking about. So just to review here, what I've done here is I've written down some resources, which are some things that I actually need to kind of have in order to execute my tasks. So like I said, I'm going to be using WordPress for my website. It is going to use a blue chic theme. That's where all my themes come from for my websites. And I've got a plugin that I have access to called Wishlist Member. That's for another one of my class websites. So I'm going to be using that for this one as well. So those are sort of the resources I can think of right now for building the website in order for me to execute, but I can always add to those later. Now let's think of some tasks. I need to actually buy the domain. I need to have a subdomain created. I'm going to need to install WordPress. Oh, spelled that wrong. Thank goodness I'm using a friction pen. Install a theme. Set up wish list member. Build course pages. Build sales or info pages. Oh, welcome page. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all I can think of to do right now. I'm sure as I go along, new items will pop up, and that's something I want to say about project planning. When you're getting started with a project plan, I think it's mostly important that you have a few ideas of where you want to begin. If you don't know every single step for how you're going to undertake a process, just write down the first few steps that you can think to take. And then ultimately, once you start working through a project, more tasks, more items will pop up and you can add them to your list as well. So I definitely don't think you need to have like a full project plan and all these notes built out before you begin. I'm someone who likes to just get in and get my hands dirty and start doing the work. And I find that from doing that, I end up, finding all the little extra things or coming up with new ideas that I might want to integrate into a project plan as I'm going along. But you absolutely can go ahead and do research ahead of time and have, a really well-defined project plan mapped out before you actually begin. That's not a bad idea. It's just most of us don't know usually all of the tasks that are associated with what we're working on, especially if it's something we've never done before. So this is something I have done before. So I have some knowledge, obviously, of some basic tasks, but I know that as I go along, I'm going to end up having more things that'll get added to this list. And some things might need to be done now within the due date, and some things might be like things that I push off to a future update or something like that, just ideas to keep, and I'll just keep it all on this project plan. So all of that information is organized in one place. And if I needed to, I could go into another project planning page, as many pages as I needed to outline this project. Or if it was something that was really big, right? Something that maybe takes like numerous months to achieve, I could break down a project into stages and then make each stage a project planning page. So that's another way that you could organize information. Now, I personally can't think of anything that I have in my life that would work that way, but maybe something like buying a home is something that you might need to do in stages, so that you have like a stage where you're working up to get your finances in order, and then a stage where you are maybe saving, and a stage where you're actually doing the search and the research for what kind of home you want to buy, and then the whole process of buying a house once you've put in an offer and all that jazz. So that's something that could be broken down into stages, but it really just depends on how much, how big and how much work is required for the project that you're working on. For me, I know that this, I'll definitely be able to get it done this month. This is a project that'll take me just like 2 or 3 days to do. So that's definitely, not going to be so many tasks that are going to be overwhelming. Speaking of knowing that this is what I would call a short-term project, which is going to be a project that takes less than a month to complete, or a month or less, I want to jump on over to the 2-page project tracker, the yearly tracker, to give you guys an understanding of how I would then schedule that project into my year. So I've actually gone ahead and just covered over mine, because my existing yearly tracker actually has a bunch of information on it already. So I wanted to give you guys like a clear example of how you'd set this page up. So what I would do, let's just assume that it's January right now. I can just fill that in. The first thing I do is fill in the months of the year up top. And you'll start this, the month that you get it, or the month you want to begin using it. Okay, so all the months are listed up top. Now, the short-term projects are all these boxes here, the 12 boxes here. So since this project is something I said I want to get done by June 1st, I'm going to write it in here. So I'm going to put dedicated class website. So this is a situation where I didn't already have the project on my yearly map, but I've put together the project plan first and then scheduled it in my year. You can do that if you have, projects that pop up, or at the beginning of the year, or at the beginning of the time, wherever you get your planner. You can think about all of the projects that you want to accomplish and list them out on here first. So that gives you an ability to look at your year and schedule tasks in during times that you're going to be free to work on them. So the reason for this master tracker is really just to make sure that you're not overwhelming yourself with too much work and trying to get too much done in too short a period of time. It's really giving you the ability to look at a full year and break it down into months, quarters, and like the halves of the year in order to see, where your projects are going to fall. And of course, you're scheduling these projects in based on the length of time it takes to complete them, and then the time of year or the month or quarter that you're going to be working on it in. So this website, like I said, it'll only take me a few days to do. So it becomes a short-term project, and I'm getting it done before June 1st. So it's going to be scheduled in May. If this were something like, let's say, like I wanted to buy a house, let's say the second half of the year, that might be something that I put in this second half of the year, this kind of like half 2 box, and mapped out maybe some like important steps or some important sub projects, like we said before, and then break them down into project plans. So you can either put your projects in here first and then break them down into their project plans once it comes time to work on them, or you can make your project plans first and then schedule them in to your year as you see fit. You can really do whatever you want. Now, something else I wanted to show you guys was actually an example of another project plan that I have in here that might be something that you guys might not think about using as a project plan. I know I gave you a few examples already, but something that for me is a project that I like to do throughout the year is reading a certain amount of books. So I've set myself like a goal of reading 24 books in 2018. So I've created a project plan for that project, right? So I've called it Books to Read, description, read 24 books in 2018, and the due date is 12/31/2018. Now, instead of having tasks per se, I just started listing out all the books that I want to read or that I have purchased and I have not gone through yet. And when I say read, some of these I'm going to be physically reading physical books. Many of them, most of them are books on tape. So these are like the books that I want to listen to or read. I use that term interchangeably in the year. So as you can see, I've already read, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've already read 12. So I'm actually already halfway there. And I actually have started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've started 6 of them. So I cross them off if they're completely done. And if I've started them, I just give them 1/. So that helps me to organize. Oh, that's a lie. I've started this one too. I knew that. Okay, anything else? No, I think that's it. So one more that I had started that recently got added to the list. So yeah, this is a project plan for the books that I want to read, right? So don't think about project plans as being something that's business or work related. It can also just be fun things that you want to do, like fun objectives that you have for your life. This is just a really fun, a fun example that many of us read books and might make a list of books that we want to read. And that's a way you could be using a project plan here. And if I wanted to, I could break it down. I could assign books to certain areas of the year. But as you can see, I kind of like start and stop books as I please. So I don't keep myself to a schedule like that, but having this list of books keeps me on track. And usually in my monthly plan, I will give myself like a list of like 2 or 3 books that I want to read that month, or I would hope to read that month. So yeah, that's just an example of a more fun personal project plan. Okay, so that is how I use my project planning section in my Charmed Life Master Planner. I hope this video gave you some great ideas for how you could be project planning to help yourself be more organized and have a better plan of execution moving forward towards your goals and objectives in your life. And don't forget that if you have purchased the Charmed Life Master Planner or plan to purchase it by May 31st at midnight Eastern, you are eligible for my 2 bonus freebies, the Charmed Life Master Planner Personalization Guide and the Master Planner Masterclass, which is only going to be free until June 1st when it actually goes live. And then on June 1st, when that masterclass actually gets published, I am going to take it off of the freebies bonuses for this planner, and it's going to be up for sale in my shop for $97. So if you want the personalization guide and a free $97 course on using this planner and making the most of this planner and all the strategies that it can contain within it, then make sure you get your copy of the Charmed Life Master Planner ASAP before May 31st at midnight and enter your information in the website yourmasterplanner.com to get your freebies. If you have any questions about this process or have any strategies to add, please feel free to leave me a comment down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and make sure you're following me on Instagram at MissTrenchcoat for more behind the scenes of my productivity, life, and business. And if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos by me, and until next time, bye-bye!